going on, guys? BrettO Live back with another video. Today we have the Week in Review, episode 161. This is where we go over Raw and SmackDown in a WWE action figure setup style. Tell you guys what happened. Tell you what I thought about it. Was it good? Was it bad? We're going to start off Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw was pretty average this week. Nothing too special. Some pretty cool moments, though, so we're going to jump into it. Starting over here, we opened up the show with the Street Profits. The Street Profits interrupted a promo with RK Bro. RK Bro was talking about their unfortunate loss that happened at WrestleMania Backlash, by the way, which I thought was an amazing show. They were talking about how they lost to the Bloodline and all that, and then the Street Profits came out and said, "You're worried about the Bloodline, you should be worried about the Street Profits, because we still have a Tag Team Championship match." So they got the Raw Tag Team Championship match that they definitely deserved, and the match was pretty decent. The ending spot was absolutely insane. We saw Riddle catch Montez Ford, who was about to deliver that insane frog splash that he does. Riddle caught him mid-air with a wicked freaking RKO. It was insane. Even Randy Orton's face said it all. Literally, look back at the footage. Randy Orton's face said it all. It was literally insane. I loved that spot. And then, of course, Riddle was able to pick up the victory for his team and retain the Raw Tag Team Championships for RK Bro. I really enjoyed this match. Solid opener to the show. Definitely got me excited for Raw. Yeah, it wasn't bad, for sure. Moving over here, we had Judgment Day. Judgment Day coming out with their new inductee, if you will, our new recruit, Rhea Ripley. So now it's Edge, Damien Priest, and Rhea Ripley, all part of Judgment Day. I still think he's going to be trying to recruit more people. Maybe Finn Balor. I could see Balor turning on Styles and joining Judgment Day. I don't know why. I just see that happening. But they were talking about why Rhea was talking about like why she joined Judgment Day, how it was like the easiest decision in her life. It was kind of cool seeing all three of them out there. I kind of enjoyed that. Edge cut his hair again. Looks like Rhea Ripley, but as a guy. It's crazy. But anyways, it jumped right into a match after that. Liv Morgan interrupted. One-on-one. Rhea Ripley kind of just beat Liv Morgan. There was nothing special there. Liv Morgan kind of just lost, I guess, and then Rhea won. Match was okay. And then it turned into Finn Balor versus Damien Priest. One-on-one. A match we have seen before when they were feuding with the United States Championship. So it's nothing we haven't seen before. Match was still pretty decent. Edge, randomly out of nowhere, spears Finn Balor. Randomly out of nowhere, and the bell rings. I'm like, oh my god, well there goes that. Disqualification. Finn Balor's down. Styles jumps in the ring. It's an all-out brawl. But then in the end, Judgment Day, they were able to reign supreme because AJ Styles did not hit Rhea Ripley. He should have. If Rhea Ripley's going to get involved in this guy group, she should expect to be hit. Like, what the heck? But yeah, I do like Judgment Day. I think it's kind of cool. I'm interested to see where it's going to go. And yeah, as far as at the expense of AJ Styles, not too happy about it. Moving over here, we had an episode of the VIP Lounge with Omos and MVP. They're basically just out there talking about how they got the best of Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania Backlash. Of course, Bobby Lashley interrupted, ran through the security, and then he jumped the ring, sent Omos over the top rope. MVP didn't get touched again, and then Cedric Alexander, for whatever reason, trying to prove his allegiance to MVP, jumps in the ring and takes a wicked beating from Bobby Lashley, locks him up in the Hurt Lock, which I really want to see the Hurt Lock locked in on Omos. I think that would be so cool. I think he might tap out or pass out Omos in the Hurt Lock. I think that would be wicked in the future. But anyways, yeah, he basically just disposed of Cedric Alexander and kind of just freaking destroyed him after infiltrating the VIP Lounge. I wasn't a big fan of it, honestly. Moving over here, speaking of something I wasn't a big fan of, it was Tommaso Ciampa going up against Mustafa Ali. It was one-on-one, and this was just so lame. Special guest referee, The Miz. Why The Miz was special guest referee? No clue, but obviously he's going to play favorites, and he favored Tommaso Ciampa the entire match until the end, where he did a quick count so Tommaso Ciampa could win. I'm like, dude, this is so lame. Like, the first time Mustafa Ali came out on Monday Night Raw in his return, it was actually cool, but they're just going downhill with this. It was just so boring, dude. Like, I cannot get behind it. I feel bad for Tommaso Ciampa. I feel bad for Mustafa Ali, and I feel bad for The Miz, because this is all bad. Literally, and Tommaso Ciampa hasn't done jack diddly since frickin' coming up to Monday Night Raw. It's literally bullcrap, but whatever. That's Tommaso Ciampa, dude. He's part of one of the most notable freaking rivalries in NXT of all time. Gargano and Ciampa. That was literally one of the best rivalries in NXT. Moving over here, it was Sonya Deville being fired. Sonya Deville is fired. She was fired by Adam Pearce because she abused her power. So she's fired as a WWE official, but now she can wrestle. But I thought Mandy Rose beat her a while back, so then she couldn't compete anymore. So I don't really know what's going on with that. But anyways, Sonya Deville is a competitor now, not an official, and she had a mystery opponent, Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss is back. And she came out to her old music. I think there's a little spin on it. I don't think it's like the exact same song, but it's very similar to original music, which I thought was really cool. She came out with the Lily doll. I think that kind of took away from her return a little bit. I would have just completely forgot about all that if it was up to me, because I really didn't like any of the Lily crap. But anyways, Alexa Bliss squashed her. It was like 2 moves, and then she hit Twisted Bliss. 1, 2, 3. Alexa Bliss wins. It was cool seeing Alexa Bliss back. I enjoyed that. Very, very much. Definitely. Moving over here, this was so lame. Naomi, Sasha Banks going up against Doudrop and Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross and Doudrop trying to give this new tag team a try. Didn't really work out for them. Naomi and Sasha Banks were able to hit a pretty cool double team on Nikki Cross and pick up the victory. As far as that goes, yeah, I don't really care where Doudrop and Nikki Cross goes. I could care less. Moving over here, the match I was most excited for the entire show. Cody Rhodes versus Austin Theory, but then I really started thinking about it. I'm like, wait, why is this for the United States Championship? Dude, it would be so cool. Cody Rhodes is United States Champion. The American Nightmare is the United States Champion. That would be so cool. I guarantee in the future he will be United States Champion, but not tonight. I'm like, dude, Seth is so interfering. Cody's like, I really hope you got put that Seth stuff behind me. I'm like, dude, you're not going to be able to. He's going to interfere, and he did. Seth freaking Rollins comes out. He interferes in this match, causing a disqualification. Then Theory can retain his United States Championship. I was disappointed. I was like, darn it. But I knew they weren't just going to take that belt off of Theory. Vince is not going to do that. So I knew Seth was going to freaking take him out. So we're going to get Seth versus Cody at the Cell, Part 3, guaranteed. It might even be inside of the Cell. I don't know. Moving over here, it was our main event of the show, and dude, this main event, literally they gave it like 6 minutes, and it was so lame. It was Asuka going up against Bianca Belair in a Raw Women's Championship Contenders match. So if she beat Bianca Belair, she would get a Raw Women's Championship match in the future. Becky Lynch was on ringside. I'm like, oh, she's gonna interfere. She's going to interfere. I guarantee it, because she's jealous of Asuka getting this opportunity. So Becky Lynch takes out Bianca Belair, so then Asuka loses. I'm like, dude, lame way to end the show. That was the main event. How lame was that? This should have been the main event, dude. But anyways, yeah, I really disliked all of that. Very lame. But yes, guys, that was Monday Night Raw. And there was also some 24/7 crap. And then Veer squashed another guy, which I could care less about. But yeah, guys, that was the main parts of Raw. I really hope you guys enjoyed the Raw part of the video. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5 for Monday Night Raw this week. And now we're going to jump into SmackDown. Continuing the week in review with SmackDown, baby. We got SmackDown going on right now. Before we even jump into SmackDown, ToyCon tomorrow. Very excited for that. Videos dropping soon on all of that, so stay tuned. But anyways, jumping into SmackDown. Starting over here, we open up the show with Randy Orton and his tag team partner, Matt Riddle, RK Bro, opening up the show with a promo talking about how they want that tag team unification match. They didn't get it at WrestleMania Backlash. They got screwed out of it by Roman Reigns, who tore up the contract. They want that unification match. And then I was expecting Roman or the Usos. Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn makes his presence felt, comes out with a Bloodline t-shirt on, acting like he's doing the bidding for the Bloodline. Roman Reigns is obviously using this man, but Sami thinks that he needs to gain his reputation here in the business again. And he thinks that he needs to get in affiliation with Roman Reigns in order to do that. Sami, all you have to do is cut your hair and stop acting like a joke and have good wrestling matches. Because Sami Zayn's literally an insane wrestler. But whatever. It turned into a match. Matt Riddle versus Sami Zayn. One-on-one. Match was okay. I was into it. There's some pretty decent spots with Riddle and Zayn, both with themselves. That was pretty good. In the end, we saw Matt Riddle deliver a Bro Derek, I believe, to Sami Zayn. He also hit a Hangman's DDT during the match, which I thought was pretty cool. But in the end, Matt Riddle was able to pick up the victory over Sami Zayn, which I thought was pretty cool. Kind of obvious, but hey, it was actually a pretty decent way to open up the show. Give us a little action. Moving over here, it was a Women's Tag Team Championship match, Women's Tag Team Championship match. And it was against Natalya and Shayna Baszler. Of course, it was Naomi and Sasha Banks going up against Natalya, Shayna Baszler, 2-on-2. Match was okay. It was a match, you know what I'm saying? Nothing too crazy to it. Sasha Banks and Naomi were able to pick up the victory in the end and retain their Women's Tag Team Championships. I really don't see them losing those titles anytime soon. I think they could break the record of the longest reigning Women's Tag Team champs. Because, dude, look at this team. Sasha and Naomi, dude, that's such a stacked team, no joke. I don't see them losing the titles anytime soon. Moving over here, I was actually, my opinions and my feelings about this are split. Ronda Rousey comes out talking about how she is the brand new SmackDown Women's Champion. She beat Charlotte Flair, broke her arm to make her say I quit at WrestleMania Backlash. She comes out cocky as ever and says, I'm going to have a open challenge for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Who responds? Raquel Gonzalez, or Raquel Rodriguez. She comes out, and I'm like, what? Are we actually going to get this? Because I'm like, no way Ronda's losing her SmackDown Women's Championship, right? No way she's losing that title. So are they going to already make Raquel Rodriguez freaking lose here? Like, wow, are they really going to do that? But before I talk about the winner and the loser, the match was solid. Raquel Rodriguez, she dominated most of the match. She literally held her own with Ronda Rousey for a while during this match, and I'm like, whoa, are they really going to give it to Raquel? Nope, they aren't. Raquel Gonzalez loses in the end after Ronda Rousey is able to reverse a powerbomb into a pinning combination, then pin Raquel Rodriguez. Showing a little respect after the match, both of them shake hands, which I thought was pretty cool. Ronda showing her respect, so it's not just a complete bury of Raquel Rodriguez, which I thought was pretty cool. But as far as having her lose to Ronda, I mean, obviously you can't have Ronda lose, but I don't know if I would have chose Raquel to go up against Ronda, but it was kind of cool. Again, mixed opinions on this. I can understand why you would like it and or why you would hate it. Let me know down in the comments below. Moving over here, it was not Ryback before you guys get into it. I'm pretending that's Madcap Moss, I guess. But moving over here is Madcap Moss, not Ryback. Madcap Moss coming out, and he was talking about his next opportunity here, or not his next opportunity, but his next journey here in the business. He wants to do a tag team with Sasha Banks. He wants to go after championships, but before he could get the rest of his things that he wants to do in this business out of his mouth, Baron Corbin decides to keep the rivalry going. I'm like, Corbin, why? Dude, why? We don't need to continue this. We don't need to continue Madcap versus Corbin. It wasn't really that good, and it's still not good. This visual was pretty cool, though. Corbin gets a steel chair over the neck of Madcap Moss and then slams the trophy on top of it. I thought that was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool visual, him doing the damage with the trophy. But as far as them continuing the rivalry, I'm not happy about that. Moving over here, it was a match, Butch versus Kobe Kingston, a match that I feel like we've seen multiple times. At least it wasn't Xavier Woods versus Butch again. Match wasn't actually too bad. You gotta remember, it's Pete Dunne. Like, Pete Dunne, one of the longest reigning UK champions of all time. Literally. That's Pete Dunne, dude. And yeah, he had a solid match with Kobe Kingston, and he beat Kofi Kingston, a former world heavyweight champion. How freaking nuts is that? So, Butch beats Kofi Kingston. I'm like, what? So, Butch is getting some dubs around here, jumps the barricade, and then runs through the crowd again. Butch just staying away from Sheamus and Ridge. I don't know what's going on with that. I think they should just make him Pete Dunne. I don't know what's with the Butch thing, but whatever. Moving over here, we ended the show with Roman Reigns coming out with the Usos, talking about the unification match until they got interrupted by Matt Riddle and Randy Orton, who asked for the unification match, and they got it! They got the unification match next week on SmackDown. Dude, no way they actually give us this match on SmackDown. They got to save that for like Hell in a Cell or something. No way they give us that match. Come on. There's no way. I think it might happen, but it's going to end in a disqualification. There's no freaking way. But anyways, they gave us the unification match, and then Riddle out of nowhere with a knee to the face to the Tribal Chief. I'm like, what are you doing, Riddle? You just randomly freaking knees the face of the Tribal Chief. I'm like, what the crap? How could you do that to your Tribal Chief? But anyways, that was how they ended the show. I thought it wasn't too bad. But yeah, guys, that was SmackDown. That was Raw setup style. In the end here for SmackDown, I'm going to give it a solid 2 out of 5. Show was decent. A decent show for wrestling. But yeah, it was mid at the same time. That's why I'm giving it a 2 out of 5. Let me know your ratings down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. BrettO Live. And happy Corbin.